This topic today, my lecture, how to perform devotional service so that we can attain purification. All devotional service is not the same. There's a quality of the service. We will discuss that. So I will start by reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, text 11. There it speaks about the yogi. The highest yogi, Krishna says, is the bhakti yogi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So Bhagavad Gita, chapter 5, text 11. So I first read the Sanskrit. Kayena manasa bhutya kevaler indriyach api yogina karma kuvanti sanghatyatvat masudaye. The word for translation. You can repeat. Kayena, with the body. Manasa, with the mind. Buddhya, with the intelligence. Kevalai, purified. Indriyai, with the senses. Api, even. Yogina, Krishna conscious persons. Karma, actions. Kurvanti, they perform. Sangham, attachment. Tyaktva, giving up. Atma, of the self. Sudaye, for the purpose of purification. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. The yogis, abandoning attachment, act with body, mind, intelligence, even with the senses, only for the purpose of purification. So please repeat. The yogis, abandoning attachment, act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses, only for the purpose of purification. Purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. When one acts in Krishna consciousness for the satisfaction of the senses of Krishna, any action, whether of the body, mind, intelligence, or even the senses, is purified of material contamination. There are no material reactions resulting from the activities of a Krishna conscious person. Therefore, purified activities, which are generally called sat achar, can be easily performed by acting in Krishna consciousness. Sri Rupa Goswami in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 12817 describes this as follows. Hiyayasya aridasya karmana manasa gira nikalashyapyavasta sujiva mukta sauchate. A person acting in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, in the service of Krishna, with his body, mind, intelligence, and words, is a liberated person even within the material world. Although he may be engaged in many so-called material activities. He has no false ego, for he does not believe that he is this material body, or that he possesses the body. He knows that he is not this body, and that this body does not belong to him. He himself belongs to Krishna, and the body too belongs to Krishna. When he applies everything produced of the body, mind, intelligence, words, life, wealth, etc., whatever he may have within his possession to Krishna's service, he is at once dovetailed with Krishna. He is one with Krishna and is devoid of the false ego that leads one to believe that he is the body, etc. This is the perfect stage of Krishna consciousness. Read the verse again. Kayena manasa bodhya kevala indriyahapi yogina kamako bhanti sankhat shakmat masudaye. The yogis even abandoning act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with the senses only for the purpose of purification. Om Mahyanati Vandasya Chananjana Shalaka Sakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shitchetanyamanubhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Svamrupkadamayam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shio Shiyuda Padkamam Shigam Vaishnavamsha Shirupam Jagajatam Saganaraganatam Patam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savaduttam Parjana Saitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sakanadutta Shivashakam Vitam Shah He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabhando Jatpate Gopesha Gopkakanta Radhakanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurami Radhe Vrindavaneshwar Vrishabhana Sutadeve Pranamama Hari Priye Pankha Kalpa Tobhyasha Kripa Sindhvevasha Patinam Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskachaya Dasatani Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So, this devotional service is meant to purify us. Devotional service. Service is done with the body, the mind, the senses. That's the external part. The internal part is devotion. But the devotion we cannot attain from the beginning. That devotion is something that's natural for the soul, but we have lost it. We have to recover it. And that takes an endeavor. So in the beginning, our service is more service, not much devotion. That love for Krishna, spiritual love, develops only when you have the right inner attitude. Srila Prabhupada explains, I think it's in the introduction of Nectar of Devotion, that advancement in Krishna consciousness depends on the inner attitude of the follower. Inner attitude of the follower. So the follower is the soul. The soul desires. The only thing we can do in this world. And if we don't have a pure desire, we may do service whatever we want, we will not become purified. Not possible. Spiritual love develops only when we have this pure desire. So we have to be trained in how to practice devotional service, how to do that with the right inner attitude. Therefore, we need the help of a spiritual master. In Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, it is explained. There's a whole chapter dealing with the purity of pure devotional service. But how to attain that purity, to attain that platform of devotional service? So first, we need to know what is pure devotional service. Otherwise, you cannot come to that platform. Unless we attain pure devotional service, there is no access, even no beginning of spiritual love for Krishna. It's not possible. So, devotional service can be practiced in an impure state, in an impure condition, with impure motives. That impure motives in devotional service are offering devotional service with a materialistic attitude. But in the beginning, we are like that. What can we do? This is explained by Krishna also in Bhagavad Gita. Shato vida bhajante myam yechana sukritarayana Akhta Chikhnasa Akhtakti Yanisa Bharatakshaba. There are four kind of persons, Krishna says, who approach me with materialistic motivations. The one who is in distress, the one who is curious, the one who wants wealth, and the ones who want to know Krishna and attain liberation are four material motives. But if you perform devotional service with that attitude, we cannot come in contact with the spiritual potency of Krishna. No direct contact with the spiritual potency of Krishna. Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, Mahatmanas to Mampartam, Devim Pragati Ashrita. We have to become Mahatmas. Mahatmas know how to come in contact with the spiritual energy. Mahatma is one who knows how to do that. And that's explained in Nectar of Devotion, this purity of devotional service, and Rupa Goswami. Rupa Goswami explains this devotional service that is pure when we perform it with the proper attitude. So, Narada Muni gives a definition of pure devotional service. Sutta Goswami in the Bhagavatam gives another definition. And also Narada Muni gives this definition. We will start with the first definition, Rupa Goswami, that Anyabilasta sunyam jnanakarmata navitam anukulina krishnam silanam bhakti uttama. Pure devotional service is pure devotional service without liberation, without material desires. Nothing asking for oneself, even not asking for liberation. That just to please Krishna, favorably, without asking something in return. So that is love. That to understand pure motivation, we have to understand first the difference between love and lust. That Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, he spent in Chaitanya Charitamrita, I think in the 4th chapter in the Adi Lila, from verse 108 onwards. He spent so many verses explaining the difference between lust and love. He gives definitions of lust and love. The definition of love is that is action which is meant to satisfy the mind and senses of the body. That is lust. Lust is permeated with the desire of I and mine. I'm the enjoyer, and this is for my enjoyment. Jai, Shri Gaunitai. And what is love? Love means that one only acts for pleasing the senses of the Supreme Lord, the transcendental senses of the Supreme Lord, only for the pleasure of Krishna, not asking anything in return, not asking anything. Lord Chaitanya says the same thing, na danam, na janam, na sundaram, kavadabha, shri shikami, mamacha, mamicha, mamishve, bhavta, bhakti, rahait, kichvai. Lord Chaitanya said, I do not want any wealth, that I don't want a good birth, that I don't want many followers, I don't want a relation with the opposite sex. I only want to serve Krishna out of love, birth after birth after birth. So that's pure motivation. It is mentioned in the Bhagavatam by Lord Kapiladev. Lord Kapiladev, he explains to his mother Devauti what pure devotional service is. But he explains also what's devotional service in the modes of nature. Means in the modes of nature means with material motivations. So we can perform devotional service in the modes of nature, and that will not purify us, not much. Will not bring us also love of God. As long as we are performing devotional service in the modes of nature, then that purification will not take place. And we are going into Purusottama-Masa. It's an occasion, opportunity for purification, but if you don't know how to do it, what will be your benefit? Therefore, I'm speaking today about pure devotional service. So it's mentioned here. Lord Kapila Devin explains to Devahuti in the 3rd canto, chapter 29, text 8, that can bring it on the screen maybe, 3:29:8. Abhisantyayo himsam dambhamat saryamevava samrambi vinadrishvavam aikyat satam-masa. Devotional service executed by a person who is envious, proud, violent, and angry, and who is a separatist, is considered to be in the mode of darkness. So, who is a separatist? If you perform devotional service, we are separatists. What does it mean, separatist? Separating. You perform devotional service and you say, Krishna, this is for you, this is for me, this is for you, this is for me. But that's not pure devotional service. Too much for me in between. And that me, it's for me, but it's not for the soul. The soul doesn't need anything, only love of God. That our needs in this world are for the body. For the body. That's the I and mine. If we think we are the body, I and mine. That I want to be happy means the body wants to be happy. But the body can fall down, though that every moment, it's all for nothing. But because of our attachment. Yeah. But we are separatists because we say this is for me, but everything belongs to Krishna. And you think I'm this body. I'm this body. Immediately you think I'm a man or I'm a woman. If you think you are a man, you are separated from all women. If I think this body is born in Belgium, I'm different from the Canadian. That immediately separation is there. Separatist. I and mine. But everything belongs to Krishna. That nothing is I and mine. What do we really have in this world? Our consciousness. And our consciousness is polluted by this I and mine. And getting rid of it, that's purification of consciousness. If your consciousness is polluted with I and mine, what happens? You get material bodies, you are in the cycle of birth and death, and so on. Is that very compassionate with yourself if you do that? That's I and mine? Do you want to go on like this, one life after another? That raising children and some problems with the family and working very hard and then becoming sick and then falling dead. Life after life after life become attached, and in this life we think, oh, our family is so important, so and you become attached to them but what with the family in your previous life and life before, it's all nonsense, these attachments. So performing devotional service in Purusottama-Masa will be successful if you strive for this purity. And this is an occasion because during the Purusottama-Masa, 1,000 times the benefit, but the benefit will only be there if you perform devotional service, if you have this purity. And it is multiplied 1,000 times in the Holy Dham. Holy Dham is the temple. Everything you do related to the temple this month will be multiplied, but you must do it only for the temple, not for your own benefit. We don't ask anything from Krishna. We only serve out of love. That's purity in devotional service. So this purity in devotional service that is explained here by Lord Kapiladev, so in pure devotional service, the only motive should be to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Purusottama. Only pleasing Purusottama and Purusottama-Masa. And that is not actually a motive, Prabhupada says. That is the pure condition of the living entity. It's in the purport there. In the conditioned states, when one engages in devotional service, he should follow the instruction of the bona fide spiritual master in full surrender. So that's the point, that we have to learn it from the spiritual master. We follow the spiritual master's instructions, and the spiritual master instructions direct us to this pure devotional service. Because this intention in the heart to do it only for Krishna without asking something in return, that's purity in heart. And that gives power to what you do. Then your performance will be very, very powerful. And then you will become purified. Now, one can say, oh, I'm a good person, I'm pure. Well, Krishna tells about that he tells about that in the Uddhava Gita. Everyone knows Bhagavad Gita. Who is the speaker of Bhagavad Gita? Krishna. And to whom is Krishna speaking? Arjuna. In the 11th canto, we have like a second Bhagavad Gita. Who is speaking the Uddhava Gita? And to who? Uddhava, yes. And there, Krishna explains in the 23rd chapter the story of a Brahman. It's called Avanti Brahman. Avanti is today Ujjain. He was the Brahman from Ujjain, Avanti Brahman. And in his young age, he was a Paka Brahman. But then he became greedy. He became greedy, and he had a lot of possessions and started to exploit others to get more and more possessions. And he gave his family just the bare necessities, no sense gratification. He was also strict with himself, no sense gratification. Just everything for the business, acquiring more and more money and so on. Did he feel happy? You think that he was happy? No. What happened? His family members became very unsympathetic towards him and started to treat him very harsh. Then, by providence, suddenly, his family members stole everything. Others were stealing from him, and he lost everything in a very short time. And he was rejected by his family. Now he's a poor guy, you go. We don't need you anymore. And he suffered like anything. He had lost all his wealth. He felt great pain and lamentation, his throat choked up, tears, and for a long time he was meditating on his misfortune, or our misfortune, but then, by the mercy of Krishna, a powerful feeling of renunciation came over him. Because in his previous life and in his youth, he was trained in pious life. But that became all covered by his sinful and offensive behavior. But finally, the purity reawakened in his heart. What is purity in the heart? What did I explain in the first part of my lecture? What's purity in the heart? Love. Love. That's later. Before, what's purity? Yeah, serving Krishna without any expectation in return. That's the beginning of love. So that purity was reawakened in his heart. And then he understood that separatist mentality of I and mine caused me, polluted my consciousness with 15 undesirable qualities. If we have these qualities in our heart, it's very difficult to perform pure devotional service. Because he wanted to increase his wealth, he became an expert thief, he committed violence, he was speaking lies, duplicity. One who has material motives have duplicity. Mostly material relations in this world are like that. Like man and woman come together to enjoy together, yes? That you give to me, I take from you. Nice. But that's duplicity. You have an extra motive and it causes you lust, another undesirable quality. It causes you anger, perplexity. Pride comes in your heart. So quarreling. So, in material relations means quarreling. I remember disciples of Radhanath Maharaj came to Radhanath Maharaj and started to speak about their problems in married life. But Radhanath Maharaj said, married life means problems. That is what it means. So you knew it, why did you marry? And then enmity comes, because those who want to take my wealth are my enemies. And those who help me to become rich are my friends. Faithlessness, no faith in God. If you have faith in money, no faith in God. Not possible. That envy. I want more and more and more. And then, of course, attraction by the opposite sex. Very dangerous. Gambling, intoxication. And the Brahman understood. Krishna is being merciful to me. He took everything away. And this was all useless. Now I'm free. from these 15 undesired qualities. He said, what is the use of wealth? Its attachment to wealth simply causes me to take birth again and again in this material world. This had brought me in my condition of suffering. And now, by the mercy of Krishna, I'm experiencing detachment. I became detached. But what happens if you become detached from all these things? Then you can start to understand transcendental knowledge. Real knowledge comes into your heart. Before it's not possible. If all this rubbish is in our heart, it cannot come in. And it became detached. And transcendental knowledge awakened within his heart. That he was able to untie the knots of desire, all these material desires come. And he made a vow that I will keep my mind and intelligence, my senses under control. So he became spiritually advanced, but he was not advertising his spiritual advancement. So yes, but you can only come to this position when you are becoming tolerant. Lord Chaitanya said, you have to become more tolerant than a tree. If you become tolerant, then all the other qualities will come. But you have to become tolerant. Like leaders, they are engaging in so many problems, but they have to become tolerant. Otherwise, they cannot be successful. Tolerant. If you become tolerant, unless you become tolerant, you cannot forgive others. It's not possible. That's if you are tolerant, then you can forgive others. You will not waste time. You become detached from sense gratification. And you stop hankering for liberation also. That's another material desire, becoming free from suffering. But what has the soul to do with the suffering of the body? Nothing. It's an experience in the mind. Nothing to do. We really have nothing to do with it. But because our consciousness is polluted, we identify with the mind. And we think the suffering in the mind is ours. So the Brahman understood all this. He understood the cause of his suffering. And he understood it's not other living entities who are the cause of my suffering. It's not nature that is the cause of my suffering. It's not my own body which is the cause of my suffering. It's all unavoidable. It's given to the body by providence. But then he understood what is the cause of my suffering. The cause of my suffering is a false identification I have with this body. That's the cause of my suffering. And therefore I create this separatist mentality. This is mine, but the mind is for the body. The soul cannot own anything. Don't have anything to do with it. So he realized, I'm a servant of Krishna. I'm the spirit soul. I'm not his body. And so because of his bad activity in the past, so he gets so many reactions that he took sannyas and they stole his danda, and he was begging food. He was going to eat his food. Someone came to urinate on his food, and so many things that. But he realized these people are not the cause of my happiness and distress. What is the cause of my happiness and distress? It's the mind alone that which keep us in material life. Therefore, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Udarata Atmanam Atmanam Apasadyat Atmevi Atmanavandu Atmeva Ripur Atmanam. Pandur Atmanastasya Atmana Chita Anatma to Satvasve Bhaktitatma Avasattva. The mind, if the mind you can degrade yourself, can uplift yourself. The mind can be your best enemy, your greatest enemy, or your best friend. It's your greatest enemy when it's uncontrolled. It's your best friend when it's controlled. The mind keeps us in material life. If we can control the mind, we control all the senses. If we fail to control the mind, then we see other people as this is my friend, this is my enemy, or this person is indifferent to me. It's all concoction of the mind. The material mind, the body, material body is produced by the material mind. So if we realize these points, then we are self-realized. So in the Purusottama-Masa, we want to take a few steps closer to our purification. And we enter really into purification if we do our activities in Krishna consciousness just to please Krishna, not asking anything in return. Just give. And that's the opportunity. A beautiful month, 1,000 times benefit when done in the temple. Please participate to organize the Ratha Yatra nicely for the pleasure of Lord Jagannath. So that's my message to you. Of course, this Brahman took sannyas, but we have also to take sannyas by changing our desire. Sannyas means that cultivate a desire only to live in a relationship with Krishna. And that relationship is devotional service. And whatever it takes, we will try to achieve. So the Brahmana, the Avanti Brahmana wrote a song, and the last verse is very famous. Etam sastaya pratmanistam atyasitam purvatamer marshibi am tarisam durantapram tamom kundaranki nisheva shevat. He prays, "Oh, my Lord Mukunda, I will cross over this ocean full of nations, whatever it takes, and I will take shelter at your lotus feet." That's called the sannyas mantra. But we have all to take that kind of sannyas, that inner attitude. So thank you very much. Any questions? That's 11:23:57. Yes.
You spoke, thank you for such a spoke about the transition from negative mind to spiritual. Material mind is responsible. Spiritual living starts. And chanting is a part of last couple of years, so I've been extensively working on a book exclusively dedicated to chanting. And small meditations about
Yeah, so of course, our primary goal is to purify our heart, but it starts with what I try to explain today is with purification of our desire. Come in the right internal mood to perform devotional service, the mood of pure love, and that will purify us. If we become purified, then we come in contact with the Krishna's internal energy, the spiritual energy. And our most important practice is the chanting of the holy name. And so, yes, it's here, I think. I wrote a book on it. Shapa Ananda. And this book describes everything about a holy name, which is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam. And it explains the process of the chanting, because it's a process of purification, that how to attain that purification and coming to the appropriate inner attitude while chanting. The appropriate attitude of chanting is called Sambandha Jnana, knowledge of our relationship with Krishna. And that is fully described in this book. I worked many years on it and its essence, and it's printed in Vrindavan. This is a proof copy. There are some errors in it, but it's all, the pure copy is being printed now. There's 1,000 copies in Ujjain. And I offer this book all for free for all of you. But so there's no cost. The only cost is that you have to pay for the shipping from India to here. That's all. But if you are interested in having the book, it's for free. You give your name to Ambarish Prabhu and we will make the arrangement that it comes here. Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, I have a question. So you were mentioning, many times what happens is when we are engaging with movies and we see someone doing things differently, we can be very quick to judge, to be like, okay, this way is different, this person's thought is different, their way of emotion is different. Many times when we start reading, we can be very puffed up, we can be very egoistic in the start because we are in Krishna consciousness. Of course, it's very supreme way, but then we start judging other faiths, other groups, or people doing anything different from what we don't like. How can we prevent that, or how do we come out of that?
Yeah, that judging others. That of course, I'm a Christian from background. That you see the big piece of wood in the eye of the others, but not as well. You see the faults in others, but not in yourself. That's part of our material disease. Spiritual life means the fault lies in myself, not in others. And that's the reality. And this fault means we have the wrong inner attitude. Why are we judging others? We are all in the same prison house. And one prisoner is criticizing another prisoner. Will that help you out of the prison? No, you stay in the prison. That it's all useless endeavor. That the best service to others is help them to become Krishna conscious and cooperate with each other to make each other Krishna conscious. That's more. Of course, those who are on the level of authority, their service is to correct others sometimes when they are too disturbant. But Prabhupada says many times, twice in Bhagavad Gita, Ksama, tolerance, mean forgiving the minor offenses of others. You have to learn that. That's important. That otherwise, that will be obstacles in our spiritual advancement. That when we perform devotional service and when you become purified, what happens in your heart? You see all the impurities in your heart. You become conscious of it. That's the first stage. If you are not conscious of it, you cannot do anything about it. That mostly we are not conscious of our own faults. We see the faults in others, but not in our own heart. That we think I'm okay, the other is at fault. But I'm such a good person. Yeah, that's the false ego. That anyway, Kaladnan tells some stories about that, but it's going too far. Anyway, good. Anything else?
I have one more question. You mentioned about like doing devotional activities from a materialistic perspective, what happens with desires. How do we move from there to just pure spiritual desires?
Yeah, that's explained in the purport. You have to dovetail your material desires and use them in Krishna's service. That's a dovetailing technique. And there's an important theme in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna says there are two verses which are repeated twice. One is Manmana Bhavmat Bhakto, become my devotee, think of me. But the other verse is you have to do your duty and not the duty of others. That's dangerous. So we have our psychophysical nature, we have to engage that in devotional service. And this is one of the important functions of the leaders of our movement, to engage everyone in devotional service and to get out of them what are their capabilities, what's their nature, what are they good in, and engage that fully in devotional service. Also the spiritual master has that duty. And then what happens when you do that? You engage in devotional service, then and hopefully it's pure devotional service, then your attachment will diminish. To become attached to Krishna, that your attachment go down. So it's explained in the scripture. We have a material svadharma and a spiritual svadharma. Material svadharma is our svadharma, our psychophysical nature. What you are good in, what you want to do in attracted to in this material world, then do that for Krishna. Do that for Krishna. That's important. Like this devotee who asked Prabhupada, how can I please you? Ask me something, I will do it for you. And Prabhupada replied, what do you want to do for Krishna? But the devotee said again, Prabhupada, it doesn't matter. Ask me whatever you want me to do, I will do it. Prabhupada became more grave and said, no, Tell me what do you want to do for Krishna? And then the devotee said, I want to make unbreakable mridangas. And Prabhupada said, yes, do that for Krishna. And he made his first fiberglass mridangas. So it's important that what we are good in, that we use it in Krishna's service. The talents that we have, that we use it in Krishna's service. And that will purify us, because we desire to do these activities. But that desire will vanish suddenly. And then we come to the platform that we are purified. And then you can do anything for Krishna. But if you are not purified, you have to act according to your conditioned nature. But we use our conditioned nature in the service of Krishna. This body is a bad bargain, Krishna's, Srila Prabhupada says, is a bad bargain, but you can use it in Krishna's service. That's a good thing. And it will help us to come to the platform of liberation. Okay? That's the principle in Bhagavad Gita. Good. Good. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki.